supporters, welcome to another exciting adventure here at Big OGGIE Towers. I'm just cutting up some butter. I had a pair of scissors on me, it makes sense, I've got to make butter cubes. So we are going to today create some fantastic mince pies. If you watched the previous video, you know that I made some, well, actually really lovely, can we taste it already, double cherry mincemeat. So we're going to use it today in a mince pie with a difference. Slightly different pastry, really good. And we're going to use a Bakewell topping. So it's a double cherry Bakewell style mince pie. Sounds good? I think so. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. It's very early in the morning. Sorry about the state of me and the state of the kitchen. I'm up way before everybody else because this pastry has to be rested for a couple of hours. So I'm going to get cracking on this, get this done, and then wake everybody else a bit later with a cup of tea, etc. Okay, it's Sunday, it's horrible weather out. The cat got me up this morning because she didn't have enough food in her bowl. Not that she had no food in her bowl, she didn't have enough food in her bowl. So all the ingredients will be listed below and obviously the measurements, etc. So we're going to start off with plain flour. And a little bit of icing sugar. Like I said, the actual measurements will be listed below. We're going to sieve that through. So once we've done this, we're going to add a pinch of salt, which I think is quite strange. Just haven't worked this reason out yet. I'm sure I'll find out. Some foodie person will tell me. A pinch of salt, and then unsalted butter. Who knows? I think it's probably because you can't regulate the amount of salt when you put it in, which is salted butter. So a little bit of salt. There we go. Pinch of salt. Now we're going to crumb this together as we've done many times before on the channel. Just work it with your hands and crumb this together. And the thing about cold butter is it does take a while to soften up, especially first thing in the morning here. Well, there's a storm brewing again, but it'll get there. Take your time, work it with your fingers, work the fats and the sugars in together. Put some Christmas music on. I would if I could, but you know, I'd wake everybody up. Don't think Slade or Wizard at a high level at the moment would probably be conducive to a nice, quiet, festive Sunday. So, I'll come back to you when I've done this bit. Get it to breadcrumb consistency. Okay, breadcrumb consistency. Now, this is a little bit different, this pastry. The reason for that is we are going to include full fat soft cream cheese. We're using Philadelphia, branded, but obviously there are various different ones around. Make sure it's a full fat and just the normal original, not one of the weird flavour ones, okay? But yeah, just a different idea. The idea of this, I believe, is although it's going to be quite a short pastry because of the icing sugar, this will actually help with the rolling, also adds a little bit of different consistency to the pastry when it's done, lovely smooth finish. So, get yourself a knife, rounded, ended knife, and then just start working that into that. And keep going until it's all kind of nicely combined. Then we're going to add another ingredient, which is going to be ground almonds. It's a kind of a Bakewell based thing, so we're going to do a Bakewell top to it, but also having ground almonds in the pastry. And we're also going to add an egg. So let's get this bit done to the point I need it to be. It's basically just mixed up fairly well. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, but what I'm trying to do here is get this into large clumps. The cheese has all kind of worked its way in now. We don't have the kind of breadcrumby areas anymore. So we're at that point now when we can move to the next stage. So in go the ground almonds. A lot of them. I'm going to change the consistency, change everything in the pastry. Make it, well, a lot drier again. So in a while we'll be adding an egg. And maybe a touch of water. Keep working it with that knife, okay? So this is all combined. It'll take a minute or so, so I'll come back. So we're nearly there now. This is kind of half the consistency it was before. A little bit crummy now, but a little bit lumpy as well, which is fine. So now we're going to make a little well in the middle. There we go. Just to make a little hole and drop in an egg yolk. One egg yolk. Okay. Now, also we'll need a tablespoon of ice cold water, as cold water you can get. We got ours out just out the tap, but let it run for a while. It's pretty cold. There we go. Not quite a tablespoon. There we go. Put this to one side. Can mix this up. Put it together in a ball. All be done. So just going to mix those in. Immediately things start happening. The egg yolk obviously enriches everything, and that tiny bit of water, suddenly everything's clumping together very quickly. So using your knife still, keep working that until you feel it's in a position, well, I suppose that you can just grab it and put it all together with your hands. But just get it all mixed in nicely. You'll see it change. You'll see it change. So, like I said, goes into a pretty solid lump very quickly. Just use your hands now and just work it together into a ball. And your pastry will be done. Clean bowl, lovely. So what I'm going to do now is just shape this, flatten it down a little bit, and wrap it up in some cling film, or just put it on a plate and cover it, pop it in the fridge for 2 hours. We'll come back and tell you what to do next. See you in a while. Hi buddy, so a couple of hours have gone by and we are back. I say we because look who's here.
I have dragged myself out of my bed.
Drag yourself out of your pit because you like doing the rolling out and all that stuff.
Well, I don't really, but
no, well, I'm making you do it because I thought about the time you got back on the channel. Otherwise it'd be covering the big OGGIE show. Now, this is the pastry. So,
it's very hard at the
minute. A couple of things we're going to say about this. They say rest it in the fridge. However, we made some of these yesterday.
We did.
We'll explain in a while. And it's actually more difficult to roll when it's cold.
Yeah. It is a very short pastry because of all the almonds and stuff that you've put in it. So it's sort of kind of almost comes away in sheets when you roll it. So the top isn't like smooth, if you like. And also because it's been rested for so long, it's really hard. And because it's hard then, as soon as you start rolling it, if you can see, if I push that,
just shatters,
it cracks.
Breaks, yeah.
So it makes rolling it really difficult. So I personally would say, do you know what I would say? Do not rest it when you've made it.
Right.
Make the pastry, roll it out, cut out your discs.
I'll go straight away to the next stage.
And then rest it when it's in.
Enough.
Because the reason you were resting it is to stop shrinkage when it goes into the oven.
I always wonder what the reason was.
It's to stop shrinkage. So if you roll them out, make out your discs, put them into your bun tins, and then rest it, because it does say in the recipe
we have to do that again anyway.
that you have to rest them for 20 minutes once they're in the bun tins.
It's an interesting recipe because, like I said, so basically ignore all the bit I said earlier about resting it for 2 hours. All right,
That's what I would say.
Tip. So yeah, what we have to do now. We have to roll this out and make as many rounds as possible to fit our trays.
Yeah.
I believe it's a 8 centimetre.
8 millimetre.
80. It's an 88 millimetre, 8 centimetre. You're not very good at
the round things.
Cutter, and then we're going to put it into.
We're going to use muffin tins.
Muffin tins, deeper ones. Okay.
And that's basically because we're going to pipe the topping on.
Yeah.
And it will hold the topping in place. There lies the story.
There lies the story behind yesterday. We made this film yesterday because we never made these before. We've got plenty of the mincemeat left, luckily. Although, not luckily, because they come out for it. Okay. The problem was, we used this recipe from the Waitrose magazine.
Yeah.
And the problem was, it's wrong. This is the November one, okay?
Right. So we made the recipe.
Yeah.
We put it in the oven.
We piped all the
toppings
topping
on.
on.
We did the whole shebang. We put it in the oven, and as soon as we put it in the oven,
They flooded.
it the topping, which should be like a frangipan type topping, it just melted. It
just
completely melted.
Yeah.
So all the gaps in the mincemeat, it ran down through. The ones that we'd done in the cupcake tin, because we didn't have enough.
Yeah, they're kind of thin.
Like that, so you can
like
see.
That. Okay, they're lovely.
Some of them
They
come out
taste-
not too bad, like that one.
They taste really good.
Others, like that.
There's too much mincemeat on show.
Now, John said at the time it
Yeah.
was my fault because I put too much mincemeat in them. That was his thing.
Well, that's because you trust a recipe in a magazine
Right.
or a book. Yes.
So, after my insistence that I had not put too much mincemeat in, he went and had a look online.
Yeah, my theory was the mincemeat was too high, and therefore the sponge mixture on the top didn't actually cover the things.
But
I looked online, and I actually found exactly the same recipe, Waitrose online.
and
They had another 100 grams of
There's a
ground almonds in the.
misprint.
Yeah, they had
the
another extra 100
magazine
grams.
has got a printing error,
I reckon
and it says 50 grams of ground almonds when it should say
150.
150.
That's in the next section, which we'll show you in a minute, and that we think would change the.
Consistency of the
Consistency.
top, so it should be exactly as they say,
Thicker
because
and
it was
firmer.
too wet.
Yeah, it kind of flooded all into all the gaps of all the mincemeat.
Because there was too much butter and not enough solid stuff. So we actually thought, once we realised that there was this mistake, they were already in the oven, so we left them cook.
Yeah.
And we
And very nice they are
thought
too.
that they were going to be horrible because I thought that they would be greasy because of the amount of butter. However,
They're all
they
right.
were not.
No, they're not.
And they're very, very nice.
They're very, very nice. The only thing is they weren't picturesque enough for us to show you properly and obviously put on a thumbnail. And you know,
And
we
actually-
wanted to do them right. That's the
Exactly.
thing.
We wouldn't tell you how to do a recipe if it was wrong. So
So what we're saying is, if things go wrong sometimes, when you get, especially a magazine recipe, not necessarily books, you get a few books, but you get corrections and they put the corrections in. Most magazines, hopefully, are checked. Sometimes it's just a slight mistake. It's just I will contact Waitrose tomorrow and tell them, just in case other people haven't, but I'm sure about plenty of people say the same thing. If it goes wrong, it's not always you. Okay, don't always trust the recipe. Go and check it again. Quite often you'll find recipes, if you get them on magazines, you'll find them on the same websites online as well. So just check them if it's a problem. So,
moral of the
cracking on.
story is don't jump to the conclusion
Yeah, and-
that it is your fault when it may
and
not
don't
be.
blame your wife, because it's quite an issue. No, it's not fun, is it? Although she didn't talk to me for a while. Did you, love?
No.
I got you back. Got you back on camera.
Can you see what I'm doing though?
Yeah, you're actually having
As
to push.
I'm having to repair the
Pieces, yeah.
cracks in this thing because you need to roll them out quite thin.
Now the interesting thing is they say that the cheese in this actually makes this easier. So without the cheese in it, I wouldn't even like to think how short this would be to actually do.
I will say, if you're like freaking out a bit about putting cream cheese into pastry, don't, because
It doesn't
tastes lovely.
at all. Yeah, it's lovely actually, it's really good. Yeah, I'm not going to panic about the edges. I think what I worked out yesterday is we roll it out as best we can. We do as many as we can from the middle, then we just redo it again. Because it's the edges that are always going to break, aren't they? So we're going to get our cutter and we'll cut some of these out and show you what it looks like.
Yep.
Okay, so Kelly did her job and I shoved them all in the right holes. All right?
More or less.
More or less. We've done a few in a normal tray just to see what they come out with. Yeah, but muffin trays are better, we think. About 2 millimeters thickness, well we said about a coin.
Yeah, about the
Yeah.
thickness of a pound coin.
Yeah. And we're going to pop these in the fridge now for another 20 minutes just to chill them out really and firm them up, which is what we were going to do at the start of the 2 hours. So, you know, like we said, roll it out at the start and then put them in this, stick them in the fridge. Then we'll come back and put mincemeat in. Anything else to say a second?
No, we are going to start with the frangipan topping though while that's in there.
We are, yeah. Pop those in the fridge, darling. Whilst I do a quick plug of our new shop. We have it's called a shop, but really it's just a branded page on Amazon. It's called Big OGGIE Golf because Big OGGIE Golf is currently larger as a channel than this one. So I've got to take it as one name or the other. But on there we have got pretty much all the cookery books and the equipment and stuff that we use on Big OGGIE World, and some golf stuff that I recommend as well. And it's all the things that we recommend. Most of it we actually bought on Amazon, to be honest.
We have, yeah, we got an awful lot from Amazon.
The whole point is that you can go on that page. I'll put the details in the description below. On all the videos now, that'll be on the front. If you go and look at any of that, if you decide to buy anything, that's great. We get a tiny little percentage, a few pennies. It all helps to get the channel going. And just come and take a look. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, it's called Big OGGIE World. It's on Amazon. Big OGGIE Golf. It's on Amazon. But I'll give you the link. Click on the link on the descriptions below. But it is not just golf, so don't panic. No. It's got to be in golf name, because the golf's the bigger channel and Amazon just takes the larger channel that you're in. Sorry about that. But predominantly it is all cookery stuff on there. Some barbecue stuff, lots of equipment, loads of cookery books. Yeah. And any kind of foodie things that we like that we can find on Amazon that we sometimes get. So take a look, okay? Right then, French pan topping. Here we go. Okay. A bowl. We've got all the stuff ready done. I've prepared everything already for you, my love. Yes, I've got a dolly dealer today. I know. Right, before I do that though, can you possibly get me the hand mixer? Yeah. Please. Right, John, I've got safety goggles on because you're now using electrical equipment. I am. Okay, so this is basically a frangipan, but you don't like the taste of almonds. Got almonds in everything today. Although actually, we've worked out that without the almond extract, it doesn't really taste particularly almondy. Palatable. It's a sponge. Yeah. Yeah, which you're basically a sponge. So if you see any recipes that have kind of frangipan, you're worried about too much almond, just don't put the almond extract in. Or dial it down, whatever you prefer. Yeah. Again, just you can change little things on a recipe, but not the basic main recipe. So we're making a frangipan. So again, it's like a frangipan or frangipan or frangipani. Yeah. No, she used to be a gymnast from Bristol. I don't know. Anyway, that thing. So I'm going to cream together my butter, which is softened, and some caster sugar, but I need to get a pinch of salt. What is it with a recipe asking for unsalted butter and then adding salt? I know. I still think it's because you can't regulate the amount of salt. Blows my mind. Ridiculous. Salted butter. So soften butter, and then cream together your butter and your sugar so it's light and fluffy. Usual sponge thing here. Then we're going to put the eggs in, whack it around. If it starts curdling, put a little bit of your flour in. Or, actually I found yesterday, it didn't curdle at all. You just need to really beat the devil out of it, Because the thing is with this egg mixture is you've got 2 whole eggs but just 2 yolks. So it's not. And I think it's the snotty white stuff that probably curdles things. Probably. Like the almond, okay. Yep. So we're going to do that bit. Once that's all done, then we'll add in the ground almonds to turn it into a frangipan. Ready? Go on with it, love. Told you I needed safety goggles. Okay, so we're at the point now where you've added the flour, just 50 grams of flour. Yeah. Everything is all done. It's pretty much like it was yesterday now, really. But now we have to add 150 grams. Very important. Of ground almonds. There we go. Give that a beat, and then we're ready to stick in a piping bag. Right then, darling. So these have now been resting in the fridge for about 20 minutes or so. We've made the frangipan. We put it into a piping bag. Kelly got a lovely little trick, which I'm just showing you now on B-roll, to how to fill a piping bag without getting too much mess. If you haven't got a piping bag, don't worry. Blob it. Just blob it on the top. All right. Now we're going to basically get our mincemeat. We're going to put some mincemeat into all these. Heaped teaspoon, I believe. It says a heaped teaspoon. Details. The mincemeat, as I made the other day, you can freeze this mincemeat for a couple of months. Okay, just bring some out when you need it, defrost it, and then obviously do this as well. These pies, once they're cooked, when they get to the cook stage and they're finished cooking, you can actually, when they're cool, you can freeze them again, and they will last for 2 months. Yeah. In a freezer, which we think is great because some of our kids don't eat mince pies, and we're not going to go through 16 or 18 or whatever in one go. Or we love. No, we're not, darling. No, especially as we got a load from yesterday, still eating. So we're going to bag them up into like 4s. And then we need somebody to get them out, defrost them, pop, or later on then you can warm them up in the oven if you wish. Absolutely. And if you have got like unexpected visitors over Christmas and you've got them in the freezer, when they arrive, take them out, put them in the oven, and give them a drink or two. That'd be perfect. Yeah. Because they're already done. Okay. So we're going to load these up and then we'll come back to the piping bit. Okay, so we have fully loaded our mince pies. The oven is now on.
Do you want me to put that blind down?
It's a bit bright, yeah. It was when I started this morning though, when you were asleep, there was a storm going. Now we got sunshine, although it is a gale out there blowing. So we've set the oven to 160 degrees, gas mark 3, 160 degrees fan.
Yeah, 180 if you don't.
180 if you don't, okay? These will be going in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. We suggest about 12 or 13 minutes, about halfway in, turn them round.
Well, in our oven, because I know I've got a hot spot.
But definitely just check them at 20 and then see how you're going, until they're golden brown, okay? So, like I said, we're going to pipe these, but if you don't have a piping bag, just blob them, it's fine. Doesn't have to be the prettiest thing in the world, unless you do a thumbnail. Yeah, anything else to say?
Nope.
Let's do
Ready?
this bit. Yeah, go for it, Bill.
Let's see.
Let's see if it's thicker today and easier to use. There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah. It looks like a Viennese whirl, love. We will be doing Viennese very soon. Kelly keeps saying she wants to do Viennese, and so do I, so we'll do Viennese at some point.
Take your time. If you're piping, take your time. Don't rush it. Because if you rush, then things start going awry.
With most, especially baking, it's not a race. It's not designed to be anything else, is it? It's supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to enjoy what you're doing.
If you've never piped before, the trick is to keep pressure in your bag.
Yeah, don't have air holes, really.
So the more you're pushing down from the top, not the middle.
Not the middle. If you squeeze the middle, you run out of mixture, then you've got a big gap.
Exactly. So go from the top, push it down with your hand at the top, and at the end, just push the nozzle back into the mixture and it will sort of cut itself off, if that makes sense.
Okay, so we're going to let Kelly beautify all these and we'll be back.
There we are.
Well, they're all done. We're going to pop them in the oven. We'll see you in about 20-25 minutes. Very good. Right, then we've got a bleep going on.
Yep, turn to the bleep.
What we got?
Right, go and get them.
Okay, we took the thinner ones out a little while ago just because they were just for fun, because we had a bit of spare mixture. These are the proper ones. I will say, they're looking really good.
There we go.
They're looking really good. I'll take a little photograph of that while we're here and discussing them.
So if you don't have a muffin tin, but you have a cupcake tin, you can make them in a cupcake tin.
Yeah.
I mean, they
They're
held their shape this time.
Yep.
But obviously, if you're going to do them in a cupcake tin, you need to take them out before the 20 odd minutes, because they're a lot thinner, obviously. But as you can see, they held their shape.
Yeah.
The piping, excuse me, flattens, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, it wasn't designed to be. It's not like a Viennese where it's supposed to stay shape.
Now, the thing is now, according to the recipe, if you want to freeze them, you can freeze them from this point.
Yeah, let them cool down first, and then put them in bags, freeze them.
And then you can just reheat them whenever you need them.
Defrost them.
However, if you do not want to freeze them, you can put a drizzle of icing over them and stick a cherry on the top.
I will actually take a photograph of what they've done on the recipe.
Which would then make it look a bit more like a cherry Bakewell.
But we're not.
We're not going to do that because we don't particularly like overly sweet.
No, and trying them yesterday, they were perfect.
They are.
And that was without the icing and things on. I don't think he needs it. The mincemeat I made.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's fantastic.
It's
really good. It's a really good mincemeat. Not like jars when you get no matter how expensive a jar you buy, it's always predominantly sugar and it's
mushy.
Sweet.
There's not much fruit in it. Whereas with this mincemeat, you see actual pieces of fruit. So you can see when you're eating a cherry, you can see when you're eating a currant or a raisin.
And you don't need another cherry on top. You've got plenty of cherries in them.
I like that.
The pastry is lovely. I'm very interested to see what it's going to be like if we eat one of these warm, because they're saying if you want them to eat them cold, you can decorate them with the icing and the cherry. If you want to eat them warm, so you like a warm mince pie and you pop them in the oven and warm them through, you obviously can't do that, and obviously you can't freeze them
with icing on.
Okay, But what you can do is dust them with a bit of icing sugar when they come out.
Yeah.
They're just going to be lovely. They really are.
So I'm going to put this one back there because this is literally just out of the oven.
Yep.
And I'll bring the other ones over.
I know it might seem a bit faddy and stuff to do all this, but it's not. If you love baking, you've just got to do these things. The pastry was dead easy. The mincemeat was easy.
The
Once you got it
pastry
all,
was no more difficult than if you were going to make your own short crust pastry.
no. So it's just normal baking, really, just in various parts. Plus, we've still got some spare mincemeat.
Yeah.
So we have made 12, 18, 36 mince pies, and we got enough for about another 6, we reckon.
Probably.
Probably that. We'll probably turn that into some kind of pastry roll or from some mincemeat.
Yeah, you could do like a mincemeat roll, almost like a strudel. So if you use puff pastry,
Yeah.
and that would be lovely with some fresh cream or clotted cream or something on for a little bit of a
But that's
pudding.
the thing. We also had a little bit of spare mixture on this, and we could have used that and turned that into a sponge, thrown some mincemeat with that, and make it as a little sponge, little muffins.
With the we had a little bit of pastry left over as well. We probably could have got another 2, maybe 3 cakes out of it. But you know, enough's enough.
What I'm saying is, it might seem like it costs a lot of money, but it doesn't, because the quality of what you're going to eat is good, and you get so many of them.
Yeah.
You do. So we're going to go. I'll show you a picture of these for the thumbnail, obviously, at the end.
Do you want to cut one of these a
Do you
minute?
think these are ready to eat?
Well, we can just put them on a plate and cut it.
Why? Why do you? I'm just going to bite. Oh,
You can't just cut.
I can.
Shove it in your face, John.
Yes, I can. Why? That's what I'm here for. So these are just the thin ones.
Look at that.
Yeah, looking good. You can try and do that. I mean, these are the thin ones. They're not even the right ones. I'll show you a close-up picture of the other ones later. This is more for taste experience, isn't it?
Go on, and be careful because it's going to be really hot.
That a little bit. They're really good.
I'm not brave enough to stick that in my mouth. Not with molten mincemeat.
I haven't done that for a few years.
It's Christmas, stop it.
I know, sorry. We're going. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hopefully there's a few more Christmas recipes on the way, but if there's not, have a great Christmas, alright? We'll see you soon.
I don't believe you said that.